Hi guys, it's Mike from the Academy team. I was recently up in Edinburgh and I got to catch up with American photographer Jason Lanier. Very popular over in the States, well known for his weddings and portraiture work, and he told me about how he got started in photography.
I got started in photography, really, I watched my dad shoot, and he was just a hobbyist, and that's when I really got interested in photography, and that was all the way back when I was 7, 8 years old. And I determined when I was about 12 to become a paper boy and get a paper route, and I did that for a number of years, and I saved up $400 or $500 and I bought my first Nikon. I shot with that for a long time. I changed a few Nikon bodies over the years, but not much. And then I became a hotelier, and I was in hotels for over a decade. I finished my career in hotels at the executive level for a number of years for Starwood Hotels. And while I was doing so, we were at Christmas dinner, and I'd go on trips. And one of the most memorable trips I took was to Italy. And I was with my wife, and we were in Rome and Pisa and Florence and all these amazing places. And I was taking pictures, and the other my colleagues in the hotel industry would go out and drink heavily every night because the hotel industry is very hard on you. And then what ended up happening was I went out and took pictures. And so I'd come back every night from, they'd go out partying and I'd go out shooting, and we'd come back every night, and in the morning they'd be hungover and I'd be looking at all my pictures. So I kept doing landscapes. At this time I had bought my first digital camera. It was the Fuji S3 Pro. And I bought that camera and I was shooting with it, and amazed at what digital could do. And then, fast forward a year or two, my wife volunteers me. I had a Picasa account where I just put my pictures up, and my wife volunteered me to shoot her sister's best friend's wedding. And I found that out during Christmas dinner at my in-laws, and they said, "Thanks for shooting Brittany's wedding." And I said, "What are you talking about? I'm not shooting any wedding. Real photographers don't shoot weddings." And so my wife gave me the look like shut up and shoot, so I did. I agreed to it. We went down to the house. I booked my first wedding, and lo and behold, I ended up loving it. And 300 plus weddings later, here I am 9 years into being a professional photographer. In that year, that was in 2007, in that year I booked and shot 25 some odd weddings, and now I've gone on to do weddings and landscapes and wildlife and portrait work and all sorts of craziness. I'm the kind of guy who I like to keep my hand in a few different cookie jars. So we've had a great time, and 9 years later, here I am now. I've switched to Sony a couple years ago, as many of you may know, and having a great time traveling the world, sharing the love of photography. I think one thing, if you look at my photography, one thing you'll see is I use the fundamentals of landscape photography in all other aspects of my photographic endeavors. So, that's why I'm really big about not blowing out your skies. And I use those tenets of photography, of the landscape photography, in everything that I do. So whether it's portraits or, I honestly, when it comes to photography, I really am a dog and there's a bunch of squirrels. I can do a supernatural shoot. I mean, even you asked me today, hey, where do you want to meet to do the interview? And you told me in your whole career, no one's ever asked you to meet in a cemetery before. So I just love all kinds of photography. I'm known for wedding photography. I'm known for portrait photography. But at the same time, I've won awards, been in Popular Photography magazine for my wildlife, for shooting in Kruger National Park in South Africa. So I think what I'm most proud of, to be honest with you, is I've received recognition and awards in landscapes, photojournalism. I've done that in Ethiopia. Portraits, beauty, boudoir, weddings, just to name a few categories. So that I'm very proud of that. So I don't know if there's one in particular that I love. If it's challenging, I want to shoot it, I guess is the best way to put it. Okay, great. My top 3 tips are: number 1, don't take shortcuts. Learn your craft. I'm all about technology. I'm all about utilizing the advancements in technology for us to be able to do our job faster and be more creative. That being said, When you're a new photographer, if you utilize those crutches, what ends up happening is you forget and you never learn the fundamentals of photography, and as a result, when you are presented with a situation later on in your career that you need to be able to figure out, if you've been relying on all those crutches, you're screwed. You really are. You know, a good example of that would be like, you know, people who, stroboscopic photography is pretty cool, you know, where it fires a bunch of strobes and you catch people's arms going like this. Well, the old school way of doing that is just to set up your camera on a long exposure and run around with your speed light and pop, 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 pop. So I think don't take shortcuts. Learn the art of photography. Learn the fundamentals. Learn about lighting. I think the art of lighting is truly being lost. If you look at the vast majority of photography websites these days, especially people who are shooting events, you don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to figure out what's going on, guys. Look at them. The vast majority of websites these days are all pictures taken during the daytime. They have very little images taken with any sort of a complex lighting scenario, very little pictures taken when it gets dark. And that's one of the things that when clients hire me, they say, we love the fact that we look at your pictures and we know that you can take anything we need taken. So I think that'd be number 2, learning lighting. And number 3, I guess this would probably be one of the most important things. I save the best for last, I guess, but find a mentor. I know sometimes that's not easy. In our industry, sometimes people do not like to share. In fact, that happens a lot. And they don't like to give information. We have photographers fight over locations, for goodness sake. I mean, how stupid is that? So definitely find a mentor. And if you can't find one that's in your area, then fortunately, one of the great things about technology is you're able to follow people on YouTube or Facebook or whatever else it is. But here's the most important piece of advice I can give you, and it's shaped the way that I do my YouTube videos. Follow people who are actually photographers. We have a lot of talking heads out there who just blah, 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 and they never show any of their work. So if you guys are going to follow somebody. It doesn't have to be me, but follow someone who actually shows you their work and they have a great portfolio, because that's somebody you should be listening to. Well, I just want to say thank you to Jessops for allowing me to have this opportunity to do this interview. Anytime I'm in a location that I can do something for the photography community, I like to be able to do that. I also wanted to just tell you guys where you can find me. You can go to youtube.com/JasonLanierPros. JasonLanier.com is my website, and then you can have all the links to social media from there. I'm big on social media. I love sharing the world, and I love sharing everything that I do with all of you guys. So something I always say in my videos is, until next time, keep shooting, never give up on your dreams. Find the right gear that works for you, and remember, you only have one chance to get it right. Talk to you later. Bye.
A huge thank you to Jason for taking the time out of his brief UK tour to talk to us. If you want to see more great content, be sure to hit subscribe. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again soon.